my channel. Today I am here with a very important chapter from NEET point of view. It's a very easy and important chapter. So without wasting any time, let's get started. The chapter I'm going to start is Digestion and Absorption. Though it's a very easy chapter, but it's very important from NEET point of view. William Harvey is known as the father of human physiology. This you can get in an MCQ question. We know that what our body digests. Our body will digest food. So food is the basic requirement of all the living organisms. What are the major components and minor components of food? Major components of food include carbohydrates, proteins and fats. And the minor components of food include vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals are required in small quantities, and carbohydrates, proteins and fats are required in more quantity as compared to vitamins and minerals. So food provides us energy and the organic materials for growth and repair of our tissues of the body. The water we take plays a very important role in the metabolic processes and also prevents the dehydration in our body. Then comes the biomacromolecules in the food. We eat food that is in the form of biomacromolecules. These biomacromolecules cannot be utilized directly in the original form in our body. These biomacromolecules are broken down and converted into simple substances in the digestive system, and then they are absorbed by the body. So, the definition of digestion would be the process of conversion of complex food substances to simple absorbable forms is called digestion. And this digestion is carried out by our digestive system by the mechanical and biomechanical methods. So this was all the intro about digestion and absorption. Further, we will study this chapter in detail. So we have the digestive system, which helps in digestion of the food we eat. So what our digestive system includes? Digestive system of human digestive system consists of alimentary canal and the associated glands. So first of all, we will talk about alimentary canal. The alimentary canal begins with an interior opening, that is the mouth, and it opens posteriorly through the anus. I would like to show you the diagram. This is our oral cavity and this is the anus. So what the line is saying, the alimentary canals begin with the anterior opening called as mouth. This is mouth, the interior opening, and it opens out posteriorly through the anus. And this is the posterior opening, which is known as anus. The mouth leads to the buccal cavity or the oral cavity. We all know. This is the mouth, this is leading to oral cavity. The oral cavity has number of teeth and muscular tongue. Each tooth is embedded in the socket of the bone, and this type of attachment of the teeth into the bone, that is known as a thecodont type of attachment. Majority of mammals, including humans, form two sets of teeth during their life, and this set is known as the temporary, milk or deciduous teeth. They are replaced by the permanent or the adult teeth. Now this type of dentition, which has two sets which are replaced, this is known as diphyodont type of dentition. An adult human has 32 permanent teeth, which are of 4 different types, and this different type of dentition is known as heterodont type of dentition. These are named as incisors, canines, premolars and the molars, which you can see in this diagram. These are the incisors. The first 2 teeth are incisors. This is the central incisor and this is the lateral incisor. We have 1 canine. These are the 2 premolars and these 3 are the molars. We have these incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. So next we will talk about the arrangement. So the arrangement of teeth in half of the upper and the lower jaw in order, that is incisors, canines, premolars and molars, is represented by the dental formula, which in human is 2, 1, 2, 3 upon 2, 1, 2, 3. This is a very confusing thing, that what is 2, 1, 2, 3. So as I told you, we have 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. This depicts one side of the upper set of dentition, and this is the lower type of dentition, that is the lower arrangement of teeth in the lower jaw, that is the mandible. This is of the maxilla, that is the upper jaw, and this is of the mandible, which is of the lower jaw. And we are talking only of the half side of the jaw. I think it would be clear now. The hard chewing surface of the teeth is made up of enamel. Enamel is the hard chewing surface of the teeth that helps in mastication of food. The tongue is freely movable organ, muscular organ attached to the floor of the oral cavity by the frenulum. These all terms you have to remember, that what is the surface which the teeth is made up of, that is known as enamel. And what it does, it helps in the mastication of food. What is tongue? It is a freely movable muscular organ. To what it is attached? It is attached to the floor of the oral cavity. And with what it is attached? It is attached to the frenulum. The upper surface of the tongue has small projections called as the papillae. This you have to remember. What these papillae have? Some of which bear the taste buds. These are the taste buds which the papillae have. The oral cavity leads into the short pharynx, which serves as a common passage for food and air. This is a very important line. It is a very important question which is framed from this line. That oral cavity leads to the short pharynx, which serves as a common passage for food and air. The esophagus, which is the food pipe. This is known as the esophagus, which is the food pipe. And the trachea. Trachea is the windpipe that opens into the pharynx. A cartilaginous flap called as the epiglottis. This also you have to remember. This epiglottis prevents the entry of the food into the glottis and opening of the windpipe during the swallowing. So what do you understand by this? What is the function of epiglottis? Epiglottis prevents the entry of food into the glottis, and it prevents the entry of food in the opening of the windpipe and during swallowing. So the esophagus is a thin, long tube which extends posteriorly, passing through the neck, thorax and the diaphragm, leads to a J-shaped bag structure called as the stomach. It enters into the stomach. The muscular sphincter regulates the opening of the esophagus into the stomach. Here a muscular sphincter is present which is known as the gastroesophageal sphincter. This is the stomach, gastro, and this is the esophagus. So the sphincter which is present at the junction of the stomach and the esophagus is known as the gastroesophageal sphincter. What it does, it regulates the opening of the esophagus into the stomach. The stomach is located in the upper left portion of the abdominal cavity. It has 3 portions. The stomach has 3 portions. It has 3 major parts. There is the cardiac portion into which the esophagus opens. Esophagus directly opens into the cardiac portion. This is the fundic region and a pyloric portion which opens first into the small intestine. Hope it's clear. Small intestine is distinguished into 3 regions. That is the U-shaped duodenum. This is the first part of the small intestine, that is the duodenum. A long coiled middle portion, jejunum. This is the jejunum. This is the duodenum. This is the jejunum. And a highly coiled ileum. This is the ileum, the last portion. The opening of the stomach into the duodenum is guarded by the pyloric sphincter. This is a very important question. The opening of the stomach into the duodenum is guarded by the pyloric sphincter. So this is the pyloric sphincter, this one, or you can say this one. Ileum opens into the large intestine, which we all know that it is the third portion of the small intestine. So it will enter into the large intestine. It consists of cecum. The large intestine consists of cecum, colon and the rectum. Cecum is a small blind sac which hosts some symbiotic microorganisms. This is the cecum. It is a blind sac because it's closed from this side, which hosts some symbiotic microorganisms. A narrow finger-like tubular projection is present there, and that is known as the vermiform appendix, which is a vestigial organ. Vestigial means which was present, which was useful in the older times, and now it is not useful in our body. So it is a vestigial organ that arises from the cecum. The cecum opens into the colon, which we all know the cecum is opening into the colon. This is the ascending colon, this is the transverse colon, and this is the descending colon. The cecum opens into the colon. The colon is divided into three parts, that is the ascending, transverse, and the descending part of the colon. The descending part opens into the rectum, which opens out through the anus. Now this rectum opens through the anus. So the wall of the alimentary canal from the esophagus to the rectum possesses 4 layers. These layers are named as serosa, muscularis, submucosa, and the mucosa. We have a diagram related to this. So this is the serosa. This is the muscularis that has the inner circular muscles and the outer longitudinal muscles. This is the submucosa. This is the mucosa, and this is the lumen. So now serosa is the outermost layer and made up of thin mesothelium. Serosa is the outermost layer and made up of thin mesothelium and with some connective tissues. Muscularis is formed by the smooth muscles, usually arranged into an inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. This is a very, very important part. Most of the time it is asked as MCQs. So an oblique muscle layer may be present in some regions. The submucosa layer is formed by the loose connective tissue. This submucosa layer is formed by the loose connective tissue, blood, and the lymph vessels. This you all have to remember, that serosa is made up of mesothelium, muscularis is made up of smooth muscles, submucosa is made up of loose connective tissue, blood, and lymph vessels, and mucosa has fold and villi. So next, we were talking about the submucosa. The submucosa layer is formed of the loose connective tissues containing nerves, blood, and lymph vessels. So on the duodenum, glands are also present, which helps in digestion of the food. These are present in the submucosa. This we have to remember. The innermost layer lining the lumen of the alimentary canal is the mucosa. This layer forms the irregular folds known as rugae in the stomach and small finger-like foldings called villi in the small intestine. This we have to remember, that the irregular folds present in the stomach are known as rugae, and the folds, finger-like foldings which are present in the small intestine are known as villi. The cells lining the villi produce numerous microscopic projections called as the microvilli. They give a brush-bordered like appearance. These modifications increase the surface enormously. Villi are supplied with a network of capillaries. These are the villi which are shown in this diagram. These are supplied by a large number of arteries, veins, capillaries, and a large lymph vessel that is known as the lacteal. So these are the villi, these are the lacteals which are present, these are the capillaries, red and blue colored. This is the arteries, these are the crypts of Libercune, and this is the vein. So the mucosal epithelium has goblet cells. What the goblet cells secrete? They secrete mucus that helps in the lubrication. Mucosa also forms glands in the stomach. They are known as the gastric glands. And the crypts in between the bases of the villi and the intestine, these are known as the crypts of Libercune. All the 4 layers show the modification in different parts of the alimentary canal, which I have told you already. So this was all about the lecture. If you like the lecture, please subscribe to my channel and hit on the bell icon so you can get more notifications about this channel.